welcome to another episode of the Heart Next Door podcast. This episode, we have an amazing, phenomenal woman, phenomenal entrepreneur, phenomenal superwoman, super everything, and I'm so excited to talk to her. Today we have with us Dayna Mott. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's so good to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. So I'm going to read your bio so our audience knows a little bit more about you. Dayna is a wife, mom, licensed esthetician, author, speaker, and health enthusiast. Her associate in applied science triggered her interest in the human body and function. For the past 15 years, she has used her background to educate in the beauty industry on how the body works together by combining both nature and science. In 2019, Dayna released her book, Kinky Locks, as an additional resource for her community. She also does coaching and online courses for beauty professionals to increase their sales and retention. The course focused on marketing, branding, and social media. In 2016, Dayna launched Lady Day LLC. Lady Day LLC has subsidiary branches including DNA Wellness, Oil City Squad, and Mottpreneurs. I love that. That all embody different aspects of community health and wellness. She specializes in skincare, healthcare, essential oils, child development, body function, diet, and self-care. Welcome, Dayna.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, so excited to have you. And it's just so amazing because, you know, before we even moved to Detroit, it was almost 3, because he's 3 now. So it was almost 3 years ago when we were trying to figure out where to move and we were still living in Houston. I remember you were the first person, the first mom, Detroit mom that I ever met. I remember you came and visited Houston with your husband. And ever since then, I just fell in love with your spirit and I've been so inspired by your mission. So I'm so excited to sit here with you again today.
Thank you. Yes, and it was mutual. So I'm excited for the conversation and excited to support all the things and see, what's been going on.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I just want to really start with your story. Obviously, I know a little bit about you from the, a business standpoint and from our conversations, but I would just love to hear all about your journey. How did you start even getting into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I love that question. So for me, even at a young age, I kind of knew I wasn't really built to work for other people. Yes. Mm-hmm. If you would have asked me as a kid what I want to be, I always would say an artist. Mm-hmm. And I can kind of draw, but to be honest, as a child, when I saw artistry, it wasn't just like picking up a paintbrush and painting, but it was like I wanted to paint the world. I wanted to create things. I wanted to, as mentioned in the bio, like community is something super important to me. So I really feel like for me, my journey started at a young age. I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to make as big of an impact if I had to be in the confines of a box and only kind of implementing what like an employer would want me to or some of those type of things.
Yeah, I love that so much. And one of the reasons I love that is because I truly believe that as well, that we were all meant to be creators, artists in some form. And even if you think about people that, have traditional jobs and work, literally at the top of that funnel, at the top of that business, that company started with somebody being creative and, being an artist in a sense, Yes. So I think that's beautiful that you recognize that from a very young age. So then tell us about how did that path evolve, this specifically around, you are, I know essential oils is one of the things that you're really passionate about, the community. There's so many things around your business, so many offerings you provide. So how did you get into the nuances of, the oils? How did that even come about?
Yeah. So, really what kind of, I've always been somewhat into like natural, holistic things. That just kind of was my nature. Even as a kid, like I was the kid that's like, we have to go recycle, reduce, reuse,
I love it. Save the
planet. So for me, like growing up in a house, where a lot of people might have had like aspirin and medicine, like we did have like herbs and oils and things like that. And it's funny now looking back, I I actually came across Young Living essential oils. It was the particular brand that I used when I was a child, but I didn't realize that we had them until later, when I always say I was kind of reintroduced. And what really, really kind of tipped me over is my son. So with my son, I had a very rough pregnancy. I was on bed rest with him for 5 months. We went to the ultrasound, and essentially they're like, you need to go immediately to the hospital. And I'm like, I was supposed to just be finding out what the sex was. That's crazy. And so through that journey, it just, I started doing a lot of research. I started like, why did this happen? What's going on in my body? Why is my body not operating the way I thought it was supposed to work? And then after he was born, he was very sickly as well. So he had really bad eczema. His skin almost looked like a snake. You know, he didn't have that like pretty baby skin. And then he was very asthmatic. So we had to do breathing treatments. There would be nights where I would just like lay by, like, is he still breathing? Is he okay? And so that's really where kind of my love and passion in that education piece came, because I started doing research and realized, well, if I didn't know some of these things, and maybe there's other moms out there that are like scared and like don't know. So that's really how the foundation happened. If I find something, I share it with the world. So I started educating on it, you know, and really incorporating it in my own family, getting results, and then kind of sharing that with other people.
You know, I never knew. I've known you for all this time, and I never knew that there were so many alignments in, like, especially my last pregnancy with my daughter. I don't know. We haven't even had a chance to talk about it, but yes, like I had a very similar experience. You know, when I was mid-pregnancy, second trimester, that's when I found out that I had a high-risk condition, and I didn't have to be on bed rest, but it was really, really scary. A scary experience, especially like the birth. It was very traumatic because of the placenta accreta diagnosis that I had. And I, even now, the eczema is something I can relate to, because she does have baby eczema. And that's something that literally, like, I think it was after that I even asked you about doing the podcast interview, but I remember that because we've talked about that before, your son's experience. I knew that much. And so I remembered, and I was like, wow, it's so amazing that I'm getting a chance to reconnect with her at a beautiful time where that's also something, a need that I have, that I see in my own daughter, you know? So I think that's so beautiful that you were able to use that. And now that impact that you had as a mom for your baby is now allowing you to help other women and babies too. So I love that. I love that. So tell us, how did the name, so you are the oily hair boss. Right? Yes. And then there's an Oil City Squad. Tell us, how did the names come to be?
So I'll actually so my like main company is Lady Day. So I'll start with the Lady Day because all of the umbrellas fall under Lady Day. So Lady Day is actually a play on a few things. So my name is Dayna, D-A-Y-N-A, with the Y. Growing up, for whatever reason, the Y like threw everybody off. And so I actually I would spell my name like D-A, and I would capitalize the Y, even though that's not at all how it's spelled. Just because I would be like, it's Dayna, D-A-Y-N-A. And I am a huge fan of Billie Holiday, who was Lady Day Sings the Blues. And so it's actually a play on Young Lady Day.
I love that.
So I love Lady Day. So that's really where my company is, actually Lady Day. And then Oily Hair Boss. So that came and made more sense because I really started going in with the oils. But I came from the beauty industry. So my passion really is hair, skin, nails, all of those type of things. So then incorporating the oils, I have the natural hair book. And then, well, I'm a boss. No.
I say it. Let them hear it. You are. You really are.
So that's where that part came from. The DNA wellness. So it's actually Dayna in Anthony. So my husband's name is Anthony. So D-N-A. Actually, on our wedding, like, we had shirts made, and all our shirts said DNA.
Oh, that's so cute.
And then just, of course, because the wellness, you know, incorporates into all of that. And actually, when I first started, like, teaching and educating with wellness and oils, believe it or not, I was very nervous.
Really?
Yes. So my husband actually used to teach most of our classes.
Are you serious?
I would kind of be putting together all the information.
Wow.
Because I was too nervous to talk in front of people. And so it really was like our baby together. But I actually remember, and I guess if it's okay, I can share this little bit. Like I remember a portion where I was supposed to be at this all woman like panel and things like that. And I'm like, well, if you can't come, I can't go. And he's like, no, babe. Like, this is your moment. Right? Like, up until now, I have been, and he's like, I'm still going to be there. But you need to be the face.
Oh, wow.
And so just like
That's
his
so
incredible, like, support and incredible encouragement, it wasn't until that moment that I kind of shifted into the limelight.
Wow. Shout out to Anthony. He's amazing.
Yes.
And you guys have been weren't you high school sweethearts or something like that? If I remember, you've known each other for a really long time, right?
Yes.
I love that.
Yep. Now married, 17. Next year will be 18 years.
Wow. And how long have you known each other?
Oh my goodness. I don't want to age myself. Can I just say?
Well, you look ages. Yes. It's been a while.
It's been a really long time.
Longer than 17 years. Okay, we'll take that.
Yes.
Wow.
And then Oil City Squad. So I really also just wanted a community of people that resonated very deeply with the oils. One of the things that I found as I was expanding with the oils is it seems to be more received in like more country areas and things like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where I was like, I'm a city girl.
Yeah.
So we are the Oil City Squad.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I get that. I love that. I love it so much. Okay, cool. And so another thing I'm curious about is in your journey as a, entrepreneur, you're all of these amazing things. You wear all these, I won't say hats, you wear all these crowns. And I'm just curious to know what have been some of the challenges that you faced? I imagine, like, even me now as a mom of two, I'm just like, some days I just want to scream.
Yes.
So how do you balance it all? What are some challenges that you faced along the way?
I think grace. I think grace is the biggest way that I've been able to. One of the things I will say, looking at my kids, and I had a beautiful example within my own parents, like, I have big dreams, big visions because I saw my parents living some of those things themselves.
I love that.
And so for me, one of my biggest motivations is I just genuinely want my children to see a mom that, yes, I can be a good mom. I can homeschool. I can be with them. But mommy also has dreams.
Yeah.
And at some point, you're going to fly out the nest. And I don't want to look back and be like, but who am I?
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much.
So it was super important to me that they're in tow with me and they see mommy on the journey through the ups, the downs. They've seen me cry. They've seen me make goals. And, we had little songs and jingles that went to the goals and they saw me not make them all the time. And I'm very, very open and real with them on that because I don't want them to strive for perfection, but I still want them to challenge themselves. And so for me, I've definitely had a lot of highs and I've had a lot of lows. And so I just kind of give my own self grace and I try not to focus too much on everything being the same. So I know that there's some times where I'm going to be a rock star homeschool mom and I did not follow up with 3 of those clients I was supposed to follow up with, right? Or there's going to be days where my business is going amazing and I feel like, oh, these oils have healed the world, right? And then my kids are like, hey, we got to eat.
Yeah. Yes.
So I just try to give myself grace. I just try to, when I'm in this mode, I'm giving this my all. When I'm in this mode, I'm giving my all.
I love that so much. And I needed to hear that myself. I needed that. I definitely needed to hear that. And I think it's so beautiful. Even you said, like, as a homeschool mom, the fact that they are able to see that firsthand from you every single day, I know that's impacting them deeply. I know, like, for me personally, I had my son first. So I will say I kind of got it with him, like, but I didn't really realize how important it was for me to equally chase my dreams and, like, be that example until I had a daughter. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, I'm her first example of what a woman is. So I have to not just take care of her, I have to take care of me, you know, and show her how to, you know, live abundantly and fully. And I love that you teach them that it's, you know, about progress and not perfection. And I love that. You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So tell me, Dayna, how do you believe essential oils and natural products improve the lives of families?
Yeah, I love this question because I actually think it's a coming back, right? So even from a biblical standpoint, right? Like oils were used in healing, right? And I think that as we have kind of evolved and gotten away from some of those things, everything for healing, I believe God has already put here on the earth.
Yeah.
We just don't understand all of it yet. So to me, I've seen in my own personal journey, in my own personal life, how it has impacted. And I love coupling the essential oils with the wellness piece because it's not a pill. It's not a quick fix, right? So even like if I'll take like the eczema thing, like when I was trying to find solutions for my son, what I realized is the essential oils calmed his body. The essential oils might have helped soothe certain things, but I also had to look at what am I eating that he's nursing and receiving, right?
Yeah.
I also had to look at what's in my environment, right? Because I grew up, and this is not to knock anybody else, but I grew up, if it wasn't bleached, it wasn't clean, right? And so every ingredient that I had in my home had some type of toxins that were also triggering things within my son that I had to research. I had to figure those things out. I had to brainstorm on them. And so really just seeing firsthand how the essential oils have incorporated. And then not to mention just the mental state, especially if you're a mom, y'all, like sometimes you just need to put that lavender in there and just relax.
Yes, I did that last night.
Yes. So all of that kind of coupled together, I think is super, super important. I've seen the power of essential oils myself. I always suggest to people, you know, if this one doesn't try another one, right? Like, so I do feel like our bodies might resonate with one thing more so than another, which is why I really do believe that he gave us such a variety, right? So that we don't have to be coupled into one. Because you might be listening and be like, I hate lavender, right? Like, that's fine. So fine, you know, chamomile, fine. You know, there's other stuff that might resonate too. But just from an emotional, physical, I know and I've seen firsthand how it's impacted my family and other families. And so just a strong advocate for it.
Yes, for sure. I love that too. And I think I love the way that you put it. It's like us going back to the beginning because you're right. I think that I have so many opinions about the pharmaceutical industry and the healthcare industry too. And I think that oftentimes we're kind of like, we've been trained to treat illnesses as opposed to like, you know, preventing them like from the beginning, you know? And so, yeah, I think that's great.
I mean, because there's no money in keeping
right?
illness away.
Keeping people healthy, exactly.
Instead of saying eat a salad, they're like, you know,
take this pill that will cause this other side effect that will make you come back to me for life. You know? So I love that. Okay, so curious, what advice do you have for moms who are considering starting their own business?
Do it. No.
Simple and plain.
I think my biggest advice is first and foremost, it's okay. Like, it's okay to start and maybe not complete it. It's okay to start and realize like this direction was not exactly in alignment, and now I need to kind of move it or pivot a little bit over here. So like, even I'll use again my own example. So like, my passion is healing essential oils. My passion is the education piece, but I also found that I have gifts in certain aspects of community, right? So while yes, maybe this is, you know, my main business or certain things, it trickles into other aspects. And sometimes I feel like we are, as women, we're told that we have to like stay in this certain box. And if you kind of veer away from that, then you failed. No, you didn't fail. Maybe like you just need to expand on something else. And maybe this is what got you in the door of entrepreneurship, but now the purses that you were selling don't align, and now you want to move over to something else. So many times I see women stay too long into something that's failing, versus going to say, hey, you know what, I tried this, that didn't work, so let me go ahead and move on to the next thing. So that would be my biggest advice. Do it, start it, but don't feel like you have to have all the answers and all your, ducks in a line. And be okay with that it might not turn out, and you might have to make some type of pivots and adjustments.
I love that. And I definitely, I feel that completely. And I'm curious, how would someone know whether or not, hey, maybe this isn't for me? How do we teeter on the line between like saying, oh, this isn't for me, or like, jumping from one thing? How do we know, when it's time?
Yeah, I love that question too, because I do feel like there's a difference between resistance. Sometimes our bodies are resisting something that could be a good blessing that should be coming to us, versus this is just not in alignment. I do genuinely believe that each and every one of us have a core element of what is aligned. But then whether it's in childhood or teenage, sometimes the world kind of skews our natural voice of knowing, no, these are my values. This is what I stand for, or whatnot. And then it makes it a little bit harder to know, like, this is resistance versus this is not. But for me, a lot of times I'm like, let's old school pros and cons, right? If my... And sometimes I will say this too. Sometimes business isn't necessarily just about making a profit or money, right? Definitely. Some things are just passion. Some things are just a beautiful piece that we're sticking into. But when I'm talking to a person that, like, they're making body butters, and there's tons of people making these body butters, and they have a passion for these body butters. But then my question is, but why the body butters, right? Like, is your true passion and alignment is, I want to impact people, or is it, I just want to make money?
Yeah.
And to me, have you done your market research, right? Is this a need, right? There's a lot of times where I'm like screaming, like, there is a need for this in the industry. And if you just love people, you can learn this and actually be profitable. It can take some time to really find, like, hey, this is my resistance versus this. But I definitely think that you need to, what is my goal? Am I just trying to make money? Am I just trying to make impact? Am I just having fun? Right? Yeah. And then once you can decipher those, then it'll be clear whether this is just resistance. It'll be clear if this is aligned with your purpose and what you're doing.
Awesome. That's why we need to go to Dayna for all of our business, all of our business questions. Moms, she's the one that we should go to. So curious along that note, can you just share with us a story of impact that's really resonated with you about maybe a mom that you've helped, a family that you've helped, and the results that you've seen your business and your passion have on them? Yes.
And I love this, and I think time of year, Michigan can make a difference too on this one. I have a family where it seemed like every single season the kids are sick. Every single season, the kids are sick. And the reason I connected with them so deeply is because that's how I was too growing up. It was like, I was going to be on antibiotics every fall, and then that one didn't work, and I'd have to be on a new antibiotics then every fall. And I remember just kind of sitting down with the mom, and she telling me her story and her frustration, like, hey, we clean our house, we do that, we're doing all of the things, and I don't understand why, no matter what, my kids are always getting back to being sick. Yeah. And so we inventoried her home, and it's like, hey, like, let's look at these labels. Let's look at
Lord,
don't
come to my
the hair care products that we're using, right? And when we did that and inventoried those type of things, and then we took a look at the foods that they were eating, immediately she started seeing these changes. Immediately she started incorporating, the essential oils. She started incorporating, Young Living also has like supplements for kids and these type of things. And sadly, statistically, our children's generation are the first generation that are actually expected to not outlive the life expectancy of their parents.
I did not know that.
And it's because they're just not getting enough nutrition. It's because, unfortunately, as abundant as food is, when you think about it, most of it's processed. Most of it, we're trying to do it fast. So we're going through drive-thrus and things like that, where they're just not getting the basic minerals, vitamins, nutrients that their bodies used. And so with this particular family, once she started incorporating these things, yes, even when, and let me be clear, that doesn't mean that your kids are never going to get sick. My kids get sick too. But now their bodies have
stronger immunity,
right? And they can actually fight back when they're exposed to the things. And so what she would find is even when they did catch things, they didn't stay down as long as they used to, right? And instead of that emergency to the doctor to get the peel, she was able to kind of prevent instead of worry about just basically like blocking symptoms. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, that was one of many, but I've seen, you know, so many times where even if it wasn't that maybe a child or a mother had to come off medication, like it just worked and aligned beautifully with it, right? I'm always like, talk to your doctor. Like, find doctors that allow you to be open about some of the things that you're doing health-wise and you know, aren't just pushing it aside when you're saying, hey, well, this is the research that I've done. I mean, obviously respect your doctor. Like, let's not pretend we're the doctor either, right? Like, you know, even when I talk to my doctor, I'm just like, well, you know, what's your opinion? This is what I found. You can't believe everything that you're saying. But really, really working as an advocate. And so that was one example for me, but there's so many times because it's very specific to like, what is someone going through? What are you looking for?
Yeah. Awesome. Wow. You just have such a wealth of knowledge, and I could try to pick your brain all day about so many different things from homeschool to business. Just so thankful for this time. And so as we wrap up, I'm just curious to know, what does success ultimately look like for you? When you think about it long term, what do you vision? What do you see for you as a mom, as a business owner, in every facet? What does it look like?
I think my biggest one is to raise little humans that contribute in a positive way to this world. One of the biggest joys I get is when like people come to me and I'm not around and they're like, oh my goodness, your son is so polite. He blah, 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 blah. Oh, your daughter, she's so nice and she did da, 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 da. Because yes, they can be perfect angels around us, right? But what type of impact are they going to do beyond this? And I really genuinely feel like that drop in the bucket starts with me in my own home first, and then I can trickle that to other people.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like when it comes to community, when it comes to just being a nice human, right? That's success to me. How many other lives can I touch? How many other lives can I impact? Right? That's success to me.
That's it. Mic drop right there. We could end right there, because that's it. That I completely agree with that answer. That's mine too. It's all about the legacy that we leave behind. I love that. Okay, so tell everyone, because I'm sure they're going to want more information, more just to be able to know more about you and more to hear more from you. Where can people connect with you?
Yeah, so it's super simple. All of the socials, I'm Dayna, Dayna, and then Oily Hair Boss. My website, though, it is dnawellnessco.com. Again, you can find all of the things from essential oils to working with me from a business standpoint as well. But yeah, those are the main places. Honestly and truthfully, you can hit me up. I will actually respond. Maybe not right away, but I'll respond.
Yes. Well, thank you again so much. So happy to have the one and only Oily Hair Boss with us. Just so thankful. This was a wonderful conversation. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we will see you next time on The Heart Next Door.